Locke is on assignment on his way to Louisiana. First tonight, we have Chris Willis, who is in Kenner, Louisiana, just outside of New Orleans, on the phone. Chris, are you with us?
Yes, I am, Michelle. Good evening to you. It is really quite a scene here. Some people will tell you that the worst is over now, but you ask other people and they'll tell you the worst is just beginning. We have seen some of the hardest storms. In fact, this morning, driving to the storm, we had to pull over and take shelter at a Shell station, and the roof that we were under eventually across the street just went ahead and blew off. Winds of about 100 and 110 miles an hour. A tough situation, too, at the Superdome this morning. Obviously, the worst thing that could happen did. Part of the roof blew off, and that created a mad scramble. It was tough even getting into the Superdome. They called that a last resort shelter. They spot-checked people getting in. They could not supply water and food, so people had to bring their own. Holds about 77,000. It was about 30,000 people in there at last count. And take a look at this video, just part of what we've been seeing today, flooding. This coming in from Covington and New Orleans, just a little bit east. They were seeing a 28-foot storm surge, and those numbers aren't in yet, but one of the levees was broken, and they also had trouble with the city's pumping system. We saw that firsthand. They couldn't get that going. In the meantime, as you can see, homes and businesses flooded and buried. Kind of an interesting sidebar. We talked to a few residents here. Again, we're in Kenner, as you mentioned, and they said flood insurance is mandatory here. You've got to have flood insurance. It runs about $1,200 a year for the average home. So a lot of these homeowners now returning to their place to see 2, 3, and 4 feet of flooding. They're not strangers to this kind of weather, though. Many of the folks we talked to said that they were around when Andrew hit in 1992, excess of $40 billion there. And so it's no surprise to them, but again, as you can imagine, just deflated as they're returning home and seeing their homes full of water. The streets, again, 3 and 4 feet of water. We're in Kenner, just outside of New Orleans. 100% of the homes here in Kenner are damaged. That's the word from the mayor, and they're saying that the focus now goes to the city's water supply and the city's electric supply, which could take several weeks, if not longer, to restore. So we're going to stay here and continue to follow this and bring you the very latest tonight at 10 and throughout all the time as people go ahead and return to their homes and try to deal with the aftermath of this wicked storm.
What a catastrophe. Thank you very much, Chris Willis. Please be safe out there. Now, New Orleans was built under sea level, so people really brace for a storm of a lifetime. And volunteers from right here in Central Texas are making sure that those folks on the scene have a way to communicate with each other.
You know, we've got just about everything, field representative would need to, to put all the information into their laptop. We get all the laptops assembled, and the agents go out and do their thing, take care of people.
Now, those crews are right here in Central Texas, and they'll be making their way to some of the hardest hit areas.
Oh, that's vital. We get there, there'll be no power, there'll be no phone service, maybe for weeks. And so the only way we have to communicate is to bring our own infrastructure.
It's going to be sad to see when the flooding happens. I just don't know. I can't imagine that. I have never been through a situation like that, and I can't imagine living through something like that. So if I can help out here in Austin, so be it.
Now, the local Red Cross is still helping people in Florida from last year, so you can imagine they need money. Here's how you can help. You can donate your time or your money. Call that number, 928-4271 or 1-800-HELP-NOW. And while help races toward Katrina's aftermath, many escaped it by fleeing right here to Austin. NBC Austin's Rich Parsons is live in the newsroom with the story of one big band of refugees. What can you tell us, Rich?
Well, Michelle, while most of us were watching these incredible pictures come in all day, it was somebody else's disaster for the most part, but for some in Austin tonight, this thing is literally hitting home. Wow. There it is. The big screen TV in the Reyes South Austin living room is bringing big relief for these hurricane refugees from the Big Easy.
Oh, I feel so much better than I saw the French Quarter now.
We need the French Quarter.
We need the French Quarter.
It's their first glimpse of home since fleeing New Orleans and Hurricane Katrina Saturday night, finding shelter in Austin.
And we end up here and living in the lap of luxury.
With family and friends.
But you couldn't really take much, so.
Yeah, and they are just things. The most important things are right here.
Yeah.
So that's what's important.
That's why Lizelle Reyes is opening her doors to nearly a dozen people, and more of her family in Austin is doing the same, sheltering nearly 30 refugees from the storm.
Having them all here it's definitely a peace of mind, because you're not wondering where are they safe, and that's just you know, it's hard going through that.
Right now, hundreds of thousands of people in New Orleans have no power. And
Riding the storm out 500 miles away from the comfort of a friend's couch sure makes it easier.
We all decided we're going to anticipate the worst. The worst case scenario was New Orleans would be under 15 feet of water, and it's not.
So worry is turning to will.
There's a survivor feeling, you know, amongst all the people of Louisiana. We're going to get through it. You know, it's hell, and it may be even worse than that at some points, but we will overcome.
Now, not all of the hurricane refugees in Austin tonight are lucky enough to have family or friends here, so they are packing our local hotels and motels in Central Texas. For more on that, we go live to Santa Henderson.
Rich, as people leave Louisiana because of Hurricane Katrina, many of them are finding their way to the capital city. And Austin hotel managers say those looking for shelter will find it here. The Embassy Suites in North Austin is doing just that. Manager Jim Reed says he has several customers from the Gulf Coast. It's something the business has seen before when severe weather strikes.
We've seen several people show up from the state of Louisiana. It's not an uncommon occurrence for hurricanes in the Gulf for people to evacuate to higher outlying areas that are much safer.
What has it been like when these people come in? You know, lots of bags, or they bring in a bunch of stuff, or just a little suitcase, or what?
Usually just small suitcases. They're trying to get out quick and they just need a couple things for overnight. They're obviously planning to go back very soon.
And there are 260 suites here, and one of the people in one of those suites is Mr. Pete Phelps. Mr. Phelps, you're a lifelong New Orleans resident. Tell me, what did you see before you came here?
Well, it was a lot of panic going on, but we lived through two hurricanes that was real bad. Hurricane Betsy and Hurricane Camille, which when I was a little boy, we ran through water and everything. But for this hurricane, it doesn't compare to Camille. Camille was forwards. Betsy, we didn't have the hurricane protection levy at the time. But it was panic. A lot of people were scared. We came here last year for a hurricane, and the people of Texas were so nice to us, so we came back.
So what was your thinking when you came back to Austin this past weekend?
I felt like I was betraying my friends when I ran out on them, but it was a matter of life and death at this time, so that's why I came.
Okay, thank you very much. We also have Mr. Martin Sylvester. Mr. Sylvester, your family is here. How important is it to evacuate when city officials tell you to?
It's very, very important to evacuate when the city officials tell you to evacuate, because they know how threatening that a hurricane can be to us. And so we back out here again in Austin because we tried in Houston to find somewhere to stay, but it was just so, you know, everything was so packed, so we had to move on out here to Austin. This is our second trip, you know. Thank
you very much, Mr. Sylvester. As you can see, people are coming from New Orleans to Austin to find shelter from Hurricane Katrina. We'll have more on this story as it becomes available. Reporting live in North Austin, I'm Santa Henderson, KXAN, NBC Austin.
Thank you very much, Santa. Well, Katrina, well inland now, and like they said much, and we thank you for joining us tonight. We hope to see you back here at 10.
Live tonight at 10, Mississippi Slam the Big Easy battered. KXAN's Robert Hadlock is on assignment in Louisiana.
I'm Robert Hadlock. Stay with KXAN NBC Austin for continuing coverage of the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina.
Tonight at 10.
Simpson, plus stealthy Josh Lucas, and music from Willie Nelson. Your local news is next.
Katrina aftermath. Large areas of New Orleans left in rubble and homes left underwater. Tonight, new pictures and survivor stories. And Jim Spencer will show you just where Katrina is headed next. Good evening, everyone. I'm Michelle Vias. We have extensive Hurricane Katrina coverage tonight. Let's begin with NBC Austin's Robert Hadlock. He's live in Laplace, Louisiana. Hi, Robert.
Good evening from Laplace, which is about 25 miles west of New Orleans, right off Interstate 10, one of the many communities in southeast Louisiana reeling from the effects of Hurricane Katrina today. You see behind me some emergency personnel. They are working in a team effort here because the power is off. 770,000 people in Louisiana alone do not have power right now, and they're having to dispatch cars to emergencies from this intersection, and they are really worried about a lot of looting here in the area tonight. You can see some of the destruction here at this Citco station where we're stationed, and many communities throughout the Gulf region have been affected by Katrina. We have a series of reports now. We're going to start with NBC's Jay Gray in Biloxi, Mississippi.
This was the beachfront in Biloxi.
It's devastated. Houses destroyed. Everything around here that went through Camille is gone now.
These are some of the first pictures from an area that took the most severe beating from this deadly storm. Steps up to what was a beachfront mansion reveal only a slab that is left. Cars were lifted and stacked like matchbox toys.
Worse. I'm Steve Handelsman, NBC News, New Orleans.
Now, the unconfirmed death toll is up to 6 here in the New Orleans area today. Just north of here, a man was killed when a tree fell on his mobile home. Again, about 200 people are reported stranded in their homes in New Orleans, some of them in their attics. As the water rises, they were unable to leave their home and they're stuck in their attic. I heard of one family who had 10 people up there, including a newborn child. Michelle?
Robert, we saw the video of a lot of people evacuating, but tell us what it was like for your drive from Austin to the New Orleans area.
Well, unlike yesterday, the traffic was pretty good coming both east and west. As we proceeded to the east here, we noticed that every motel and hotel had cars in every parking lot full on a Monday afternoon. Obviously, people coming and escaping the devastation here. And there is beginning to be a sense of doom as people realize what has happened here today. Many are dazed and they're confronting the fact that there's no school, and when they get back to their homes there'll be no running water, the place will be filthy and they're going to have to clean it out. And of course most people live paycheck to paycheck. Many folks are worried about their jobs and when they can start going back to work and making some money to pay for all this damage.
Of course, and that's why a lot of people are ignoring those warnings. They're still trying to get back into the New Orleans area despite the pleas not to go back.
That's right. This is U.S. Highway 51 in Laplace, and that's Interstate 10 over there. They're blocking the traffic, but still people come, and you see a group of folks over here at this Shell gas station camped out. They literally have no place to go. And the good part about tonight is that the weather has improved considerably. That is the understatement. It's kind of cool, and we can even see the stars out tonight. But where's Katrina now? Let's check in with Jim Spencer in the First Warning Weather Center.
Hi there, Robert. Yeah, here 14 hours after landfall, Katrina is still a very strong storm. At this hour, downgraded to a tropical storm and still located over Mississippi, but over the northeastern corner of Mississippi near the town of Columbus. 60-mile-per-hour sustained winds at the present time, widespread rain. We've seen dozens of tornado warnings this evening in association with the circulation of Katrina. It made landfall, of course, this morning as a 145-mile-per-hour Category 4 storm. More on the aftermath of Katrina weather-wise and our forecast through Labor Day coming up.
And KXAN's Chris Willis was in Kenner, Louisiana today while people were feeling the brunt of the storm.
There are the obvious problems associated with Hurricane Katrina. Take a look. This gentleman, lucky to make it out alive. And then there are the not so obvious problems. Lake Lawn Park Cemetery, right now under about 9 feet of water, which could soften the ground, unearth the caskets, and have them floating right down City Park Avenue.
And we're going to have much more from Chris tomorrow on First Cast. There are many people here in Austin uncertain about what they'll face when they go back to Louisiana and Mississippi. As KXAN's RJ De Silva shows us, some fled those areas, and at least one man is going to make sure his family's okay. Katrina.